In the dark expanse of space, the remnants of a colossal ancient comet trace a path through our solar system, a river of debris known as the Taurid meteor stream, a celestial ghost that our planet must cross, year after year. Some believe that fragments from this stream once brought devastation to the Earth on a scale we can barely comprehend, a cataclysm that wiped the slate of history clean. It is a radical, unsettling idea. But what if the proof of a forgotten chapter in the human story isn't in the sky, but is waiting for us, carved in stone? For centuries, the monuments of ancient Egypt have done more than mark time. They have refused to be explained away. They stare back at us with flat faces and exact edges, and in those surfaces lies a quiet accusation. How did a people, supposedly equipped with only soft copper tools and a brace of sand, manage work so precise on rock so unforgiving? The official story, taught in classrooms and repeated in textbooks, is one of patient hammering and endless labor. But to author and researcher Hancock, that is only part of the story. His claim is simple, yet it threatens to upend the foundations of archaeology. He argues that the tools we are told were used cannot, by themselves, account for the evidence. The mere smoothness, the seamless joints, the complex drill cores, and the uncanny tolerances found in the deepest chambers of the pyramids. Hancock proposes that somewhere in our deep past there existed a practical knowledge, a technology so effective that it left behind results that seem, to the modern eye, almost impossible. The trail begins here, in the suffocating darkness of the Serapeum of Saqqara. 19th century archaeology uncovered a long corridor, cut deep into limestone, opening into a series of chambers. Inside, they found this: 24 monolithic boxes crafted from single blocks of Aswan granite. Many weigh over 70 tons. The official account ties them to the burials of sacred Apis bulls in the 2nd millennium BCE, a tidy narrative with dates, names, and a clear ritual function. But when engineers began to measure these boxes, that tidy narrative began to fracture. According to their analysis, the internal faces are geometrically perfect, flat to within thousandths of an inch. The corners are impossibly square, the edges razor-sharp. When light falls across these inner walls, they reflect like polished glass. This is the kind of finish modern industry prizes, a finish achieved with computer-guided lathes, precision grinders, and diamond polishing compounds. It is not the sort of finish that can be explained by rubbing gritty sand with a piece of copper.
The anomalies aren't just about scale, they're found in the smallest details. This is Petrie's core number 7. To the casual eye, it's an unremarkable artifact. To an engineer, it reads like a page torn from a manual that does not belong to its era. It's a core of solid granite, with a distinct spiral groove wound around it in perfectly spaced turns. The spiral doesn't waver, it is continuous and exact. Engineer and manufacturing expert Chris Dunn has spent a lifetime analyzing this evidence. He found in this core the unmistakable signature of a high-speed, machine-powered drill. The thread of the groove implies a feed rate, the speed at which the drill advanced into the stone, that is hundreds of times faster than what could be achieved by hand. It reads like modern machining, not manual labor. Recreating this feature with known ancient techniques has been attempted. It has never been achieved. Tests with copper drills and a brace of sand result in rough, ragged cuts, full of pits and tool chatter. The core from antiquity carries none of those signs. And this puzzle is not confined to Egypt. From the high plains of Bolivia to southern India, we find echoes of the same impossible technology. Hancock sees evidence of a single, shared technology passed across continents. Critics see coincidence, isolated ingenuity, or modern misinterpretation. The debate reduces to a single, stark question. Do these stones testify to the forgotten machines of an advanced lost culture? Or do they simply speak to a level of human patience and cleverness that strains modern credibility? Mainstream archaeology proposes solutions involving ramps, sledges, vast armies of workers, and ingenious rope mechanics. These solutions are not impossible, but they are brute force. And brute force gets things roughly right. It moves mountains. It rarely achieves mirror finishes or tolerances that make a joint disappear. Hancock and the engineers who work with him insist the primary archive is the stone itself. The surface texture, the small regular striations inside a drilled hole, these are the fingerprints of the tools that made them. And the fingerprints they find are not those of simple hand tools. They are the signature of machines. The steady rotational motion, the consistent feed rate, these are attributes of mechanical power, not fluctuating human muscle. Critics rightly ask for proof. They challenge these claims with a crucial demand. Demonstrate that the known tools cannot produce these results and show us the lost tools that can. Where are the machines? Where are the workshops? The archaeological record, while imperfect, is resilient. The lack of such evidence is the strongest argument against Hancock. He answers that absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Catastrophe can erase a civilization. The relentless rise of the sea at the end of the last ice age could have submerged entire coastlines, hiding proof forever. But his most compelling theory is more subtle. What if it wasn't the technology that was passed down, but a memory of it, a method embodied in ritual?
Imagine a technique transmitted not with blueprints, but through sacred practice. Over centuries, the why behind the how vanishes. All that remains are recipes and outcomes. The polished boxes, the flawless joints, the spiral cores. This would explain one of the greatest enigmas, the apparent decline in skill. In many sites, the oldest stonework is the most advanced, while later work appears cruder. It's the pattern of knowledge being forgotten, not gained. The Great Pyramid sits at the very center of this storm. Its base is level to within a fraction of an inch. Its casing stones were fitted with a precision that still confounds surveyors. Granite beams weighing as much as a modern locomotive were placed deep inside, with tolerances modern engineers admire. The mainstream view holds this was achieved by a highly organized, generational workforce. Hancock doesn't deny the organization or the effort. He simply points out that organization cannot explain the nature of the work. How do you cut, fit, and polish granite to near-perfect flatness inside a dark, sealed chamber with nothing but copper and stone pounders? The entire controversy hinges on a chain of evidence. To shift the scientific consensus, you need more than anomalies. You need a workshop, a cache of tools, an undeniable artifact of a lost technology. Until then, the claim will live on the boundary between intriguing possibility and unproven hypothesis. And yet this debate has pushed the science forward. Provoked by these questions, researchers are bringing new tools to bear on the mystery. High-resolution 3D scanning, microscopic wear analysis, and trace chemistry are being used to analyze tool marks and residues in unprecedented detail. The argument is slowly being reduced to data. If a tool mark pattern can be statistically shown to require rotary power beyond the range of human operation, that is a significant result. If chemical residues in a drill core point to exotic abrasives or unknown alloys, that too would change everything. Ultimately, this debate forces us to confront how we tell the story of human progress. The prevailing narrative is a straight line, rising ever upward. A story of incremental improvement, where technology always advances and societies grow more sophisticated. Hancock's framing is messier. It suggests discontinuities, reversals, and profound losses. A world where knowledge is fragile. where it can be borrowed, lost, and rediscovered. This idea is uncomfortable. It implies that our modern age is not the inevitable apex of human achievement, but just one chapter in a longer, far more complex story. In the end, you don't need to choose a side. You just need to look. The stones themselves are the test. They are empirical, measurable, and stubborn. They ask for demonstration, not speculation. The real value of this controversy is not in finding a definitive answer, but in forcing us to ask better questions. It has reminded us that certainty in the study of the deep past is a luxury we rarely have. The stones continue to speak, and if we listen with better tools and more open minds, they may yet tell us the secret of their shaping. Was it brute endurance and superhuman patience? Ingenious improvisation? A sacred ritualized craft? Or something altogether stranger and more ancient than we have dared to imagine?